Hey guys, what's up? You are watching the Bitter Juries podcast number 10. We have reached double digits. Super duper pumped about this. We're here tonight to talk about the HOH winner and the nominations for Big Brother Canada 6. Super pumped. So, you are with Kelly.
I'm Jacob.
Hi, my name is Lucifer.
All right, guys, let's just jump right into it. What were your first impressions going into what we saw of the comp on Thursday, and then what we saw in the finish out tonight? What did you guys think?
I always get
Performance.
kind of frustrated. Oh, in terms of comp performance, I was gonna say really quickly, like I always get kind of frustrated whenever they break down a really like easy comp that could be finished in one night, so we would know who HOH was on Thursday.
Right? Isn't it the purpose? Like, what the hell?
Exactly, but I could tell like from Arissa's questioning of like Jesse from Thursday night's episode of, hey, who do you think is gonna win? And then he really didn't give an answer, so she was like, oh, you don't know. Okay, let's go to jury message, or let's go to goodbye messages. So it was clear that they were running out of time. But it still would have been nice to like see who had won the comp on the episode.
Right. Especially when it's a trivia comp. Yeah, it should be done within like half an hour or something.
Exactly. It wasn't an endurance comp. But for the strategies of the people going in, I was really, once again, I was pumped about Paris's strategy where she was in for a while, then she intentionally threw it once most people were out, but it wasn't like super clear that she would have thrown it. I thought that she did a really good job on that.
Yeah, she's doing a great job playing the sort of ditzy I'm here for an experience card, and she's really using the house guests sort of preconceptions of her to her advantage, and I thought that was really cool to continue to see. She's telling the most consistent story of all the house guests, I think, in terms of she's been this person ever since she found out that the house guests think that she's stupid and easy to manipulate. So I'm really proud of her game so far. Any other standout performances or people that you expected more from?
I was impressed with Allie. Allie made it pretty far. Oh wait, sorry, we're not talking about. We're talking about the day before, or are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about the HOH competition.
I was impressed that Allie made it pretty far. I mean, what was she? She was like the last 4 or 3 or something like that. Kelly?
Yeah, she made it pretty far. Absolutely.
Definitely impressed with her, and I've also noticed on the feeds that she's very into studying. So that made me actually like her a little bit more. So,
yeah, she's coming out of her shadow a little bit, and I feel like the edit actually picks up on that as well. So kudos to the production team over at Big Brother Canada 6. In sort of showcasing some different house guests. So we saw some trivia. We end up with a winner, and that winner is Erica.
Woo!
What do you guys think about Erica getting HOH? Are you guys excited?
We love
Are you guys
nervous?
You love it, Lou.
I honestly, so I absolutely love that Erica is HOH because she's not really giving people much on the feeds, and nor is she giving people much on the episodes. So it's going to be really intriguing to see who she goes after and what sort of combination of nominations she puts up there. I feel like she has a wall or sort of an exterior to anyone that's not in her alliance. So it's pretty much that's limited to everyone that's not Johnny and Allie and Olivia. Other than that, people don't really know where she stands, so it's going to be really interesting for the viewers to kind of get an inside view on that.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really interesting about her game is that she's willing to go personal with people, but when it comes to game decisions, she's very, very good at walling herself off and saying, hey, I'm not going to give up this information. I'm more than happy to talk to you about my personal life, but like when it comes to what I'm thinking, I'm going to just put this wall up and pretend that I'm Hamza for the week. And,
I definitely agree with like all that. I wish that I could have more. I was really excited. I am kind of impressed what you guys have already talked about, like how she's kept her cards really close. Like everyone, except it seemed like Maddie kind of knew that she might be having troubles. Everyone else was like, yeah, I think that I have a really good relationship with her. We should be okay. But they don't know exactly where she stands. So that's pretty good. But that should, like, honestly, like, as I was watching the episode, I was thinking about this. And if you go into, like, if you're not the HOH, whoever is in there, and you don't know who they're going to be nominating, that should give you a warning that, hey, I need to be, like, increasing my relationship with this person more. That way they can trust me more. So I think that, right. I don't know how most people reacted, but it didn't seem like too many people were concerned that they didn't know where she was going to be going. But if I was in that house, I'd probably be like, why don't I have at least an idea of where she's going?
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, Kelly, and I think that it'll kind of segue us nicely into, let's talk about the sort of pre-nomination talk about wanting to make big moves in the Big Brother Canada house, and sort of the perception versus reality of what really is a big move. Because we heard Erica say she wants to make a big move, and the first name out of her mouth when she says that is, I might put up Marin. Now, maybe that's just me, but how is putting Marin up on the block in any way a big move for her or anybody at this point?
It's a big move if she has a backdoor option for an even bigger player, of course.
Yeah.
I think putting up Marin would be the perfect pawn, because anyone up next to Marin is pretty much a shoo-in to go home at this particular point in the game. So I guess I see that, but yeah, Marin's definitely not a threat by any means. I mean, he literally is the bottom of the totem pole at this point.
Yeah, I think the problem, what you're saying, Jacob, about how she wants to make big moves and then she says that she's going to put up Marin, like, Erica really doesn't have any opportunity to make big moves because she has such a strong position in the house right now that any big move, which would change the layup of the game and change the order of it, like, it's not going to benefit her. So no matter, like, she can say all that she wants about wanting to make big moves, but I think at the end of the day, no matter who she puts up, it would only, like, she needs to be more focused on keeping her place in the game rather than trying, like, to make a big move to get like a huge player out, because it's not going to benefit her.
Yeah, and you stole the words right out of my mouth there, Kelly. I mean, I think what happens for me is when I hear big moves so much, I think of some of the biggest moves in Big Brother Canada history and Big Brother history, and I see these players say that they're going to make big moves every week, but I'm like, what big moves benefit you? The only person that can really make big moves in the BB Can house, or the only big moves that can be made, are to, like, get, if somebody were to nom Johnny right now, or if somebody were to break up Dayla. Those are the big moves that I see existing in the house. And when you do anything else, it's sort of par for the course, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I 100% agree with that statement, for sure. I think at this point in time, and I like how you mentioned, Kelly, that Erica needs to set her nominations to set herself up for the next couple of weeks rather than get out a clear target. But I think if she's smart, she can do both. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely, I'm so interested to see Erica right now.
Well, I want to bring you in on this, Lou, because I know you've been watching the feeds, and at this point, it's not a spoiler because we're past the nomination point in the game. But I wanted to bring you in on the conversation we saw between Maddie and Erica in the episode versus the huge conversation we saw between Maddie and Erica on the feeds, and sort of bring us in on sort of what the editors kept and also the difference. And,
I think the editors to that conversation did a little bit of justice. It was mainly Maddie being extremely passive aggressive with Erica. She was sort of saying, it sucks that you're going against me, and it sucks that we're two females going against each other. It sucks you're taking that route, sort of thing. She was very like, it sucks you're taking that route, and if I come off, I don't really know like what's gonna happen, but sort of. I think it was very cringy. I personally had to like fast forward through it because it was just Maddie's going in circles. But I think that it stuck. A lot of things that she said with Erica stuck. Like for instance, getting out a bigger target against Marin would be this would be the perfect opportunity, the perfect week. She's also saying that if she uses the veto on her, so she's in a vulnerable position, but she's also kind of thinking a couple steps ahead, which is why I really appreciated that conversation. But I think it was a lot of Maddie running around in circles, kind of repeating the same thing and being extremely passive aggressive.
Yeah. What did you think of the conversation in the edit, Kelly? Because I know you probably haven't seen the full conversation.
I haven't. That was actually a thing that I was going to bring up, and I'm glad that Lou, you threw in that what had happened and how it was pretty accurate as to what showed on the feeds, because I was very confused to the conversation. It seemed like Maddie at one point, like, it didn't seem like Maddie benefited from that conversation. It seemed like she came out looking worse because she threw out a threat to the HOH who's still trying to decide their noms, and it's kind of clear that you are potentially one of the targets. You're on the short list. So I don't know why she would do that. It didn't make any sense to me. Like, for someone who is supposed to, like, really enjoy this game and is such a huge super fan, like, why would you go off and be like, oh yeah, and if you nominate me, I don't know exactly what it is that I'm gonna do to you, but you're not gonna like it. I know that's not exactly what she said, but that was the gist of it. And if I was Erica, I would have been like, okay, that's great, I'm gonna call your bluff now. Like, in my head, I would have said, if you nominate me, I am going to, like, retaliate. But I wouldn't have told Erica that. I would have gone on a much more, like, positive, like, trying to make connections route rather than what she ended up doing.
So let me talk a little bit about what happened on the feeds and where I see the differences. Because there were some differences. I think that, for what it's worth, the editors did a great job in the edit. But one thing that they did miss because of time is that there was a positive spin on that conversation that made Maddie look a little bit better than what the edit made her look like. Because what Maddie said was, I would love to work with you, but if you make this nomination, it makes it impossible because it pits us on opposite sides of the house. It would be a better move if we were to work together because nobody would expect it. It's always the two power females in the house going against each other, and that's played out, and that's tiresome. Let's work together instead of you making this nomination. And I thought that was a very strong look from Maddie. And I think the strongest move for long term, if they were able to keep it quiet, would be if Erica would have been like, okay, let's try to work together, and then maybe even still nom her, but work it out in a way that they can, work together in a sort of a secret alliance, a Superwoman alliance, and dominate the game.
Yeah, I think that was Maddie's kind of gateway to sort of bring up, hey, if you need a backdoor option, you can totally put me on the block, and sort of ease the way into veto. And who knows, actually, I think with a lot of facts that Maddie was spewing and she was kind of all over the place, I think that some of it might have stuck with Erica.
Yeah.
So going into this veto, if because Maddie even brought up Marin's the perfect pawn. So if you do have a backdoor target, like, it's probably not a good idea to take him off. So going into the veto, if Erica does win veto, or if anyone wins veto and Erica has an influence, she is going to want to take Maddie off instead of taking Marin off because he's the perfect pawn for her target.
Yeah, I will say that I have a big brother crush on Maddie's social game. The way that she maneuvers through a conversation is second to nobody in the house. She did a great job of saying, look, if you don't do what I want, here's a vague threat. But this whole...
Oh, wait, are you being sarcastic?
No. Here's a vague threat, but here's what I actually want. I want woman power. I want us to work together. It's never happened in the history of Big Brother. I'm tired of the women sort of fighting each other. And I think she did a really good job of maneuvering that conversation and turning it into a positive for her game. We'll have to see if it works in her favor, of course. But
go ahead and finish.
I think she put herself in a good position with the let's make a Superwoman alliance and have nobody sort of know about it.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, like, the whole that Maddie's having a really good social game, because from the beginning of this episode, you have Allie and you have, I think, Paris, who were talking in the beginning that were saying, I don't like how Maddie's social game is. Like, I don't like how she just comes into conversations and she just sits there. She doesn't really contribute too much. I can't remember, but like they were pointing out flaws in her social game. And then you have later on with the really passive, the somewhat passive aggressive, really confusing conversation with Erica that it didn't, to me, sound like that Erica was going to go for this like secret alliance between the two, put her up anyway, but they're really working together kind of thing. So I would disagree that Maddie's social game is amazing. I think that like she does have things that she does well, but I think that based on tonight's episode alone, like this proves that she definitely has more that she needs to work on.
Oh, yeah, I would agree that there are things that she needs to work on. I think, okay, so I'm going to backtrack that statement a little bit and say that she's playing the second best social game in the house. I think Johnny's playing the best right now. And I would say that Maddie is a close second.
What? Okay, wait. I would actually have to agree with that. Disagree with that. Sorry. Okay. Maddie's playing probably like the fourth, fifth, in my personal opinion. I think it goes Johnny, Paris, Erica, then Maddie. The only reason I say this is because in order to play a great social game, you have to be off of everyone's radar. Maddie is unfortunately not off everyone's radar. Everyone's like, even in the episode tonight, how Paris was saying. Or how, Paris was having a conversation and someone was telling her, like, oh, I don't like how Maddie walks in and then she just kind of pretends like she's doing something and then jumps in the conversation. Like, that's not a great social game in my personal, like, opinion. But I love Maddie. She's in my draft, so I do support her. But I think that she has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm giving her such credit is I think that she'll be able to pull a bit of a Ryan next week when she... assuming that she is safe, of course. If she's around, that she'll be able to pull a bit of a Ryan and sort of fade back into the ether, because I think those conversations about how she pops up everywhere were just sort of aimed to put a target on her back, because nobody really knew what Erica was going to do this week. So if these bathroom chats get up to the HOH room, it's an easy target for Erica in a week that you don't really know what she's going to do, because Erica keeps her cards close to her chest.
Yeah, I think that Maddie might be coming into kind of a big problem, because we have a double eviction coming up on Thursday. And
I forgot about that. Thank you for the...
She is easy bait for that.
She super is. And so if she doesn't win safety by either becoming HOH or winning veto, I genuinely think that Maddie is going to be in some pretty hot water, which would be so disappointing, because she's such a huge fan of this, and I have a pretty strong feeling that after the double eviction is when jury's going to start. So if she was to get out during that double eviction, that would just really suck for her, because she's such a super fan of this game, and she just missed out on jury. She just missed out on that full-blown experience of Big Brother Canada. So Maddie, like these next few days, like she has a lot of work that she needs to do to be able to make sure that she can at least survive that double eviction.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time talking about Maddie, and that's partly my fault. Let's talk about some of the other options.
God, Veronica.
Let's talk about Ronnie. And the game
Hinky
that
vote.
she's played so far, and the Hinky vote, and where do you think that lands her sort of in the house?
Honestly, clearly, Erica's talking about it in a diary room. That's all I have to say. Erica's talking about Veronica and the Hinky vote in a diary room session. That is not good for Veronica whatsoever. Because if she's shared it into the diary room session, that means it's become a storyline within the house. And that means that she's sharing it with Allie. That means that she's sharing it with Johnny. That means that she's sharing it with
Paris.
Paris. And that means she's sharing it with Olivia. And for me, it doesn't put Veronica in a good place at all. I think that she should have just opened She should have just fessed up and said, you know what? I did it. Now I think that she's put a huge target on herself. And unfortunately, with Veronica, with the archetype that she is, she's not in a position where she can save herself. And what I mean by that is if Veronica's the backdoor option, she is 100% going home against Marin because she's loud. She's very strategic. She's a beast in comps. Like, there's no way that she would survive.
Yeah, 100%. I think that I agree with that analysis. Do you have anything to add, Kelly?
I'm really excited for this week. I really hope that this whole backdoor plan goes through. I have made it pretty clear since the beginning that other than on the first, like the cast
Assessment
analysis, like I was like, oh, she seems pretty cool, but that was proven to me to be, like, at least game wise, it was proven to me to be incorrect. I have not been a fan of her, so if I'm not only am I really excited to hopefully see this backdoor plan go through, but I think that Erica made a really good decision to have it be a potential backdoor rather than it being up front, because Veronica has shown that given the right competition, she is going to beast it out. So if this is someone that you want to get out, you need to, like, backdoor her. Don't give her the opportunity, which is kind of crappy on Veronica's part. Like, I would rather have the opportunity to fight for my life, but I'm okay with this. Like, sorry, Claire.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
please.
No, most definitely.
Yeah, I think you have to sort of backdoor her because you said it. She's gonna beast the right competition, and you can't sort of leave that up to chance. And I think it's a very smart backdoor. I don't want to call it a big move because Veronica, in my mind, her game doesn't dictate me calling getting her out a big move. But
right.
Absolutely.
It would be a very smart move on, and it would be good for the house. Everybody hates her, so.
Well, I don't think everyone hates her, but I definitely think that everyone is not a fan of her position. She came 6 days late. She's good at comps. All I have to say is, Kelly, don't get too used to the fact, because if there's a jury buyback, Veronica's coming right back in.
Oh man, I hope not. That would be super lame.
That would be iconic.
Don't throw that out there, okay?
I'm throwing it out there to the universe.
Wait, no, but like, think about it. I don't know if she gets out this week.
Has any of the evicted house guests, like, gone back on Twitter into the real world? Do we know of this?
I know that Andrew's been interviewed, and he was not only that, but he was on Joel's podcast.
Yeah, he was on Joel's podcast.
So, like, I don't see there being a pre-jury buyback, and they haven't talked about jury yet. So, please get her out. Like, I would be okay with this. Big Brother Canada 6 house.
I love you, Veronica. Good luck.
Of course you do.
Oh man, I do think another problem with her vote is that if you're gonna throw a hinky vote, you really need to be a good liar.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Fleur fell into the trap of, after doing it, being like the most vocal, being like, okay, who did this? Like, who's the most sneaky in this house? And that puts a target on your back of being one of the biggest, most likely people to have actually done this. Because if you're leading the charge, then you would think, oh, the person who's leading the charge isn't going to be it. But typically in the Big Brother house, that's the person who did it.
Yeah, it's really sad to see somebody so bad at lying try to pull off this huge lie. It's just not believable. I think I wouldn't believe it for a second. I'd be the first person that I would pin it on, and I think most of the house sort of came to that conclusion after a while.
Well, I think a lot of people pinned it on. It was like Ryan, Maddie, Veronica were like the three that were floating out there.
I would believe that Ryan did it.
No.
And Erica was very adamant. She's like, it was not Ryan. He would not be that stupid. He already has a target on his back. He's already bought on the totem pole. He wouldn't make himself like stick out like a sore thumb. And so people were kind of going back to that logic. And at the end of the day, in everyone's mind, it just equated to Veronica, which happened to be the truth. So it was just, she wasn't as good as she thought she was.
Didn't she, like, I heard that on the feeds that she said that she was going to be voting for Jesse, giving a vote to save Jesse, just as like a sympathy vote. Like, she had promised him that.
Right.
Was that the original, like, reason why she did it? Are you guys aware of that?
Yeah, that's what she I don't really know what her reason for it was, but I think it was a really, really big mistake.
She should have just said that in the beginning. Like if she had just said it was a sympathy vote, like I
just fess up.
Then yeah, exactly. Oh man, this girl. Like,
moving on.
So again, it seems like we can sort of think that Marin is in no real danger here, but
absolutely not.
So there's no universes where we want to get Marin out this week?
No.
Why would you?
He's actually he's actually a really polite guy, and looking at him is almost like a little pet tortoise. Like, why would you want to get rid of that in the Big Brother house, you know?
Yeah, Jacob, when I was saying, like, why would you, I didn't mean, like, you. I mean, like, if you're in the house,
right,
why would you want to get rid of Marin when Marin seems to be, like, setting himself up to be, like, a potential, like, pawn?
Agreed. Really, it's like Veronica and Marin on the block is literally like the hare and the tortoise. It's like, which one would you really, like, vote out, you know? So, I mean, they're polar opposites, and it's funny because they actually have an alliance, and I wonder if anyone even knows that.
I would, if I was in the house, I would almost assume that they had an alliance together.
Agreed.
Only because, like, they came in a week late, and they had to create this whole story. So why wouldn't, unless something, like, crazy happened, it would make sense to me that, yeah, the two people that came in late, they are definitely working together. Like, they definitely have each other's backs because they're in the same situation together.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now let's talk about one more person who refuses to go away in these episodes. Let's talk about Hamza and his half-hearted attempt to get himself on the block. I know we talk about it a lot, but he refuses to go away and be quiet.
One moment.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, so Kelly, do you think that he even thinks before he speaks?
I think that he thinks about what would make the best TV, and so that's where his mindset is. And for whatever reason in his mind, the best TV is him being on the block every single week that he is not HOH.
Right.
So that's where I think his mindset is, and it was very half-hearted. But I'm so happy that Erica didn't fall into that trap because I don't want to see someone on the block like that where they want to be on the block week after week just to make good TV. Like, I still want to see some type of gameplay to move it forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I will ask you this because it crossed my mind. Do you think he even wants to win the 100,000?
No, I think he's going. Is there? I forget if there's a Canada's favorite player.
I don't know.
Do you remember, Lou? Is there like a Canada's favorite player?
I don't think so, actually.
So in that case, maybe he might be going for like the long term, like wanting to come back for another season. Or maybe or maybe something that might happen is he's just trying to get to jury. I don't know, like his gameplay, it definitely doesn't seem like it's oriented around the prize. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of his long-term game, and I can't picture it. So that's not a good look in the Big Brother house. But
I'm glad he's on my pick.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that jumps out to you guys that we need to talk about from this episode?
I'd like to tap onto like the alliance of Maddie and Will and Paris. I think it's extremely interesting, especially because they're all my draft picks. So it's like it could be a great thing or an awful thing because they could literally all get put on the block because they're an alliance. But it's interesting because even though they are an alliance, Paris has been doing a lot of work to make sure that people are aware that she's disassociating herself with Maddie and Will. She's gone into arguments with Will. She used that fight in today's episode in the pantry. She used that and she told every single person, like, yeah, Will doesn't listen to me and Will is completely like this and that. So people genuinely think that Will and Maddie are not okay. But that's completely the opposite. They're actually just as good as they were day one. Good. And she's done a really good job to like really kind of mix with people's minds on that alliance. So it gives me hope for them.
Yeah, her trajectory in that relationship has been really impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Colleen?
It's great. Like, that's awesome. Keep it up.
So glad I have Paris in my draft.
I think that has I'm really loving Paris's gameplay and like her social game, and I love that she's continuing to think about what's going to bring her in the long run, and hiding this alliance and doing what she did with Will about playing up that fight. Like, that's good for you, Paris. Yay!
Out of all the house guests, I want to hear her final 2 speech the most.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Like, we don't even know what's gonna happen in the game yet, but I just like, from everything that's happened so far, I would love to hear her take and then Johnny's take on final 2 speeches in the game thus far. But yeah, I think she's played an amazing game.
I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, Jacob.
No,
I tend to do that. I'm so bad.
I talk a lot.
But I'm very nervous because Big Brother Canada tends to have this curse of where like the main female of the season, or like one of the really strong females, always gets out right before the end. Like Final 4, Final 3, they get out. You saw it with BB Can 3, Brittany. BB Can 4, Cassandra. Both of them got out first. BB Can 2, Netta got out third. So I'm really nervous that Paris is going to make it far, but she's not going to make it to Final 2.
Right.
So I really hope that she's able to break the curse. That'd be cool if she did that.
All right. Yeah, I think it would be great to see Paris in a Final 2, not for my own personal draft, because I think she would probably should beat most people in the house up to this point. But, it'd be great to see. It'd be great TV. Anything else that we need to touch on the episode? Then we'll play a fun little game before we sign off.
Let's see. I love Paris. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. What's your game, Jacob?
So, we're gonna imagine 2 very different universes. And here's the question I want to ask you. First, I want to, given the house guests that are in the house right now, what is your worst Final 2? Like, if you could imagine, like, who are 2 players you don't want to see in the Final 2?
Marin and Ryan would be the worst Final 2.
Oh man, mine is almost the same. Okay. Ryan and Plur. Like, that would be the worst. Yeah. Oh man.
For me, I would say anything where Marin is involved in the Final 2, I think would be kind of bad. Just in the gameplay that he's played so far, he's just kind of sits there. And also probably Plur. I think I like Ryan. I think he's gonna pick it up in the next couple of weeks. I hope so anyway. But I mean, I can understand the sort of the anti-Ryan sentiment at this point. But yeah, and then
that's so funny.
And then I'm gonna ask, if you had your dream Final 2, drafts notwithstanding, who would they be and why?
Well, I guess just based upon the level of gameplay that's been ensued upon us at this particular point in time, I would say, wait, can I not pick Paris?
You can pick whoever you want.
Honestly, Paris, and probably Hamza for sure.
Oh,
Erica. Paris, Hamza, or Erica, a mix of those 3.
Okay.
Why Hamza?
I think Hamza has, hello. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Are you guys, are we watching the same episode? Hamza's smooth sailing. Like, he's literally getting Final 5 100%.
Unless he gets out during a double or a triple.
No one will evict Hamza. At this point right now, Paris, Hamza, and Erica are sitting absolutely pretty in the house.
What if it was Erica versus Hamza?
Well,
for whatever reason.
Well, the thing is that there would be so many. Okay, I feel like Allie and Hamza are really close too, and Allie and Erica are close, so that's like a mutual thing. And then Erica's really cool with like a lot of the boys, like Marion, and Will, and they're all Hamza's also cool with them as well. So I don't know. I don't think that would ever happen, but if it did, I would think that Erica would fall very hard. I think Hamza's very good.
You think Erica would get out between the two?
100%. I don't think Erica has it in her bones to be cutthroat, and I think Hamza does.
Ooh. Them are fighting words.
Okay, so for very, very different reasons, my dream final two is Hamza Erica.
Ooh.
I don't. I love the way that Hamza's playing the game for TV, and I hate to say that to give credit to his motivations, but it's so fun. He's so crazy. And then Erica is this like machine of seemingly logic, and
right.
And it'd be fun to watch those two sort of interplay, and they seem to be sort of friends, even though there's some back channel talking. But I would love to see those two make it to the end, and I just want to see Hams and the Cams continue all season long. To be honest,
I honestly have seen more people talk to the camera than Hamza, so I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where. I must be like on a different camera whenever he's doing this, because I've literally seen Maddie, Veronica, and Paris all talk to the cameras, and I haven't seen a whiff lick of Hamza. So
I've only seen it 3 times, to be fair.
He's on his camera break when you're watching them.
Must be.
So Kelly,
who would I choose for my final two? So I think I have 2 sets. I think I have 2 sets.
Break all the rules. Go ahead.
I will. I'm a rule breaker. So I think it'd be cool to either see Paris or Johnny, because I do think that they're playing really good games, and I think that it bodes well for Johnny that he's really not in the episodes.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't even believe I forgot about Johnny.
Yes,
no. Johnny is killing it.
I forgot about Johnny, and I drafted him.
Yeah. So I think it bodes really well for Johnny. I think that he's doing really well. Like long game, Paris. Obviously, I love her. Or I would love to see Paris and Maddie, only because I do even though Maddie kind of had a misstep, I know how much it would mean to her because she is such a huge fan of the show, and her being a super fan, it warms my heart a little bit that I would still, between the two, I would want Paris to win, but the having a final 2 all girl again, that would be, or I don't even think that they've had a final 2 girl yet on this show. So on Big Brother Canada. So it'd be really,
they haven't.
So it'd be really nice to finally see that. So Paris
unless you consider Gary and Jillian, but Gary would be I don't know, bitch, depends on what I was I love Gary. Okay, cool.
He's so great. Okay, so that's it.
So
yeah,
that's it.
Bye.
We all love Gary in conclusion, and we will be back for the Power of Veto episode, which I'm sure will be crazy.
On Wednesday.
Sure will be crazy.
On Wednesday.
So we'll be back Wednesday and Thursday.
So the episode on Wednesday, it airs at 5, right? Which means that we'll start podcasting at 6:15 or so.
Cool. And then Pacific Standard Time, and then we will get back to the double eviction. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I don't know why I'm so excited. Oh, it always usually goes bad.
Who are we thinking? So we think that Maddie, Ryan, and who else? And Marin are definitely easy bait for double eviction, right? And Dayla.
Yeah.
Should we agree on that?
If for whatever reason, if Plur is still here at the end of the week, she's probably strong
easy.
bait too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So any of them. What do you think, Jacob?
I think I will just second what you just said, because you're all right. I mean, so yeah. I think I'm just excited for the double eviction. I love those things.
That's gonna be so great. So we are out of here. We'll see you guys on Wednesday at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
Later.
Bye.